Hey everybody, this is Cathy from Whole Home and Body Health, and today I have another super exciting preservation video. I did a historic preservation video previously, which I will link to below if you want to watch that. This time I'm coming at you from Bodie, California. You can see a bit of the town in the background here. There's some of the structures. Bodie was an old mining town, and it is considered a ghost town today. It's fairly well preserved as far as ghost towns go, even though the majority of structures have been lost due to fire and natural disaster. But this guy named Bodie, his last name was Bodie, discovered gold in the area in the late 1800s. And from that, as with many cities in California, it kind of exploded. I believe that there was about 8,000 people living here at one time, which back in the day was a pretty large town. It was very lively, a lot of bars, a lot of brothels, a church, a school. It was just a legitimate town and a lot of history happening here. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the buildings, like I said, were lost. And there was a fire in the 1930s, which destroyed most of the buildings that had been remaining. Now, the preservation company I work for, called HistoriCorps, has been working on several of the buildings over the last few years to restore what is remaining. And there, as you can see, there actually is a pretty good chunk of buildings remaining. So Bodie is a California park, and HistoriCorps is working on two projects this year. One of them down below, which I will show, and then I've got one actually up the hill, which I will show as well. Now, the one up the hill is the one that I'm going to be assisting on, and it is an old changing room. So apparently, the miners that were going into the mines and collecting some of the rocks and minerals and whatnot had to actually strip down into a jumpsuit that had no pockets or anything, so that they wouldn't be tempted or wouldn't be able to actually lift some of the gold or some of the minerals that they found. So the building that I will be working on it's called the hoist house. So it has a structure and then a small changing room on the side. And the changing room, actually, our company worked on a couple years ago to restore, but this area experienced 180 mile-per-hour winds, and it blew it completely off the building that it was attached to. So we're going to be reconstructing that with the materials, the original materials, as much as we can of that structure. So I'm going to show that start to finish, and we'll show you, some of the other buildings and some of the other stuff going on in the area. Now, remember, the cool thing about HistoriCorps is that it is a volunteer-led organization. So it is a nonprofit, and we have a project supervisor and a crew leader on each project, and then everybody else is a volunteer. So if you are inspired by this, if you like to come out into amazing, cool places like this, do some camping, learn some preservation skills, be outside, all of these things, all of these amazing things, which is why I do this, then you can sign up for a project. And we have projects all over the country. So I hope it inspires you. I would love to see you on a project. And with that, I hope you like the video. Okay, so here is the hoist house. It is one of the highest places in the entire park. So like I said, we're in the Eastern Sierras. It's very mountainous and hilly, and we are actually at elevation. The park itself down below is a little over 8,000 feet, I believe, and the hoist house is another 1,000 or so feet above. So it does get quite cold here at night. We're in September. I believe it's actually the first day of fall, September 21st, 22nd. So the weather is beautiful during the day. It's in the 70s, and then at night it does get a little chilly, but as long as you are prepared for that, no problem. So we're gonna go up here and see what the crew is doing. They should be just getting started to put the walls back together and reconstruct that changing room so that we can reattach it to this building. So the changing room was a little kind of outhouse right here that was attached to the building. So that's what we're going to be working on, is reconstructing that piece and reattaching it. Okay, so we are just about done. That was an absolutely amazing job by our volunteers, especially in this weather. As you can see, it turned cold in the last couple of days. So we've been doing this at elevation in really high winds, and it is a little bit chilly. But the final project looks amazing. I'm so happy. Great job, volunteers. This was really well done. All right, so now we are down below in the valley of the town, and we're working on this building here, which is the cane house. And this is a barn in addition to the property, which was a barn, and it was out of plumb and out of level significantly. So what we are doing here is trying to bring it back into plumb and level out the entire building. It's quite the project because we need to save as much historic fabric as possible, but we are doing our best. All right, so we are just about wrapped up at the cane house. We got it as level and plumb as it is going to be. So we stabilized that for another many years, hopefully. And now we're gonna do a little bit of stabilization on this building here, which is the folk house. And we are getting underneath the crawl space to put some supports underneath the floors and some cribbing so that we can jack up the building and stabilize it that way. So that is going to be something that is kind of under the building in the crawl space, so it's going to be dark and we can't really film that very well, but this is just another example of some of the work that we are doing here at Bodie. Okay, everybody, here we are on the final day of our project at Bodie for the season of 2021. The crew has been here for 3 weeks, and we've had 3 amazing groups of volunteers come through and help us out. We made a tremendous amount of progress. It might not be obvious to the naked eye because, you know, a lot of what we're doing here is stabilizing the buildings. We're leveling them, plumbing them, and keeping them in a state of arrested decay so that future generations can enjoy the buildings and learn from such an amazing place like Bodie. So I think this is one of the coolest places that we go to. The preservation of the mining town is really fascinating. There's guided tours that we've been on that help us learn more about the area and the town and what it was like in its heyday. I'm going to leave some pictures at the end of this video so you can see some of what it used to be like to live here. If you are inspired by this, I definitely encourage you to go check out the HistoriCorps website. Find out when we're going to be back here in Bodie, because certainly we will be back in the future. And if you'd like to volunteer, we would love to have you. If this isn't really your thing, I encourage you to go to the website and look at what other projects we have all across the country. We have so much fun out here. We learn so much. We just have a great time with all of the volunteers. So, you know, I hope that you found this inspiring and it encourages you to go check out our website. So if you liked this video or if you found it helpful, please subscribe so that I can continue to bring more videos like this to you, and hit that bell so that you can be alerted of when I put out new videos. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and we will see you next time. Bye.